Oh, and welcome to another episode of A Gold Dealer Gives Advice. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about tools and techniques for selling. Um, One of the reasons I kind of set up this part of my channel was, one of the reasons I set up my channel was because I was getting frustrated with other channels putting out content that I felt was not so much wrong, but kind of one sided. And I felt that I was in a position to kind of share information that kind of gave you the big picture. So in terms of selling, I've gone through other areas. What should you buy? Does spot price matter? These types of things. Now, you make the money on the buyer side, but you lose the money on the sell side. And the reason being, if you don't sell in the right area, you're not going to get the money you want to make. You've also got to realize that there's layers within selling, and you've also got to realize that there's work in selling. For some people, for them to sell to someone like me and receive a few quid less on their items or a percentage less on their items, they're perfectly happy with the trade off. Other people want to put the legwork in to get the most bang for their buck. Let's talk about the different arenas that you can sell in. I love peer to peer. I think peer to peer is the way forward. The only problem with peer to peer is you need to have social equity. You need to have a name that people associate with being trusted. Some people don't have this. If you don't have it, you've got to throw some cheap deals out just to get your name on the board, just to entice people in. There was recently a case where a gentleman put some stuff up to sell, and I said to him, I was like, if you give me some vouchers, I'll pay you. And he said, I can't give you any vouchers. I haven't sold for like 3-4 years. And I said, okay, in that case, I am a professional dealer. You send it to me, I'll pay you on the same day. Not a problem. So we got the deal over the line. I can now give him a vouch. He now has validity to sell elsewhere because he he's done as he said. Now, in terms of selling, you've got to kind of realize the different types of coins. I've said it in prior videos. You got your bullion, you got your semi-numi, you've got your numismatic. Each type of coin has a different area that you should sell in. So with bullion you're going to sell either peer to peer or you're going to sell to a dealer. If you're selling to a dealer, they're going to offer you a flat price. Now you need to speak to different dealers. For example, there was a gentleman who said to me, he's like, oh, if you go to a jeweler's, a sovereign is a sovereign, it's a sovereign. They don't care. Yeah, that's true. They don't care because they don't have the specialist knowledge. With bullion, that's going to be the case wherever you go. It's just bullion. They're going to offer you a flat rate depending on their own individual circumstances on what they can pay. Now, I pay £3 over. I might be slightly lowering that because the market is not in the same place it was a few months ago. It's harder to move bullion coins for me. I might drop it to 250 over an ounce. I'm going to be paying that for Brits, Eagles, etc. And that's not so much a problem. I don't really have the costs associated with running an office or having staff to look after, so I can pay more. So the spread for me doesn't have to be so wide. The spread being the buy price and the sell price, and that has to take into account all the costs you have plus the profit you want to make or the profit you need to make. If you go to a bullion dealer in London, they might offer you spot. They might even offer you 90-80% on silver. On gold, it's going to be a lot leaner. It's easier to move. If you go peer to peer, you might be selling it for £5 over a coin. You might get £6, £7 over a coin. That's okay, but it's work. Do you have the time frame or do you have the spare time in your life to pack it up, send it off, make sure that there's no issues, etc.? You've also got to understand that different people have different buying prices. So if I'm paying £3 over, which is about £20 an ounce, and someone paid £15 an ounce for it, they don't really care if they can get more out of it. It's a lot easier to come to someone like me. However, if you pay 25, 26, £27 an ounce, you're taking a massive haircut to come to someone like me. And I'm not oblivious to that. I do understand it. I had a Scottish gentleman message me a couple of days ago, and he said, well, what are you paying? I said, I'll give you £3 over. And he's like, I didn't realise spot had dropped so much. And I said to him, I'm scratching my head as well. as I genuinely am. I'm not sure myself why it has dropped so much. That's part of the market. You need to understand that it's done over prolonged time periods, and it is going to go up, it is going to go down. You need to make sure that you've got enough assets positioned both offensively and defensively, that should you need a cash call, you can just ping something off where you're not at a loss. Now, in terms of your semi-numi coins, again, these kind of have your different ways to sell. Would you take it to a dealer? Probably not. I'm probably one of the few dealers in the UK that kind of prices independently of spot on semi-numismatic coins. So, for example, if you've got some Disney coins or you've got something a bit niche, something a bit specialist, I will pay you more than I will pay for bullion. And I'll work it out depending on how much risk it is to me, how quick I think it will sell, and how quick and how long I will have to sit on it. If I think I'm going to sit on it for 6 months, 12 months, I want a bigger percentage in terms of what I'm going to make. And it's not because I'm greedy, it's because I run a business it involves vast amounts of cash. And if I have to cash call it, I'm going to have to drop the price on it. I might have to keep dropping it until there's a buyer. I need to find a collector for it. If I keep dropping it till there's a buyer and I've got to the point where there's nothing in it, there needs to be things in place where I can either quick sell it if I have to, or I can wait for the right collector, which results in me wanting a larger percentage profit on it. Not many dealers do this. So if you go to most dealers, they don't differentiate on gold or silver. If you came to me with, say, a $5 Indian head eagle, I'll pay you $4.50. Some dealers will pay you spot plus a couple of percent. I'll pay you $4.50 on it. I know I'm selling it for $5 to $5.50. That's worth my time because it's an easy sell. A lot of dealers don't work this way. They don't have the luxury of being specialists. A lot of bullion dealers, it's not so much the same with coin dealers. You go to jewelers, it's even worse than bullion dealers. They don't know their stuff. They take the biscuit, honestly. I've gone to some jewelers, they want to pay $240 for a sovereign. Spot price is £300, and then they want £400 out of it. And you just think, you are greedy people. Do not like jewelers who do that. I think it's morally apprehensible. I don't agree with it because they're easy moves, and they can't justify it when bullion dealers can do it on a smaller spread. I'm sorry, it's very easy to sell bullion. But in terms of the semi-numi, your best platform is peer-to-peer, and hope you find a collector. Or it's probably eBay on that occasion. eBay is going to give you a wider platform to sell. I wouldn't necessarily do an auction. I'd look around at the prices and I'll do a buy it now. Auctions are very fickle. They are very hit and miss. So when I work out my individual pricing for coins, I tend to discard auction prices because you tend to get outliers both above and under what the general consensus is. It is what it is. So I sometimes have people say, yeah, well, one went on eBay for this price. And I said, yeah, but one also went on eBay for an extra £50. But the average price is in the middle. I'm sorry, I'm not selling it for the lower price. I just need to be competitive as a dealer. I don't have to be the cheapest. And I know this because there are other dealers who, both now and in the past, they throw stuff out so cheap. And the reality is this, I'm buying it from them and selling it on occasions. They haven't priced it properly, but it's not for me to tell other dealers how to run their business. It really isn't. I have no interest in that. And also, if another dealer told me how to run my business, I'd probably be like, yeah, cool. And then I'd be like, no, go away. In terms of selling peer-to-peer, again, you want to find a collector. If you've got a specialist coin, let's take, for example, the Spider-Man 1 ounce coins. They're going for 140, 160. Now, there was a guy on my channel, and I remember this very vividly. He's like, oh, it's not going up in price. It's going to crash down. I was like, I don't think it will. I ended up selling a couple. I think I got £100 out of them. They're now worth 160. I got them wrong when they came in. Doesn't matter. If you're an individual and you've built up a portfolio of these coins, it doesn't matter if you're selling it for, in the case of the Spider-Man, if you're selling it for £100 and you paid 30 quid for it, do you care? No, not really. You really don't. If someone came to me with a Spider-Man and they paid 30 quid, I'd offer them 100 quid on the spot, I'd probably buy a tube of them, a roll of them, sorry, a roll of 20 if I had the necessary funds, because I know fire sale 120, they're fly. It's not a problem. Would I want to get 160 out of them at 20? Probably not. I'd probably be aiming for 135, 140 on it. So in terms of semi-numismatic, you do have more options, but you need to take it to the right type of dealer like myself. You need to do it peer-to-peer or somewhere that's going to give you enough exposure where you can achieve the appropriate pricing on it. In terms of your numismatic and where you should sell, personally, I find that peer-to-peer is very hard for a lot of people. I've put up numismatic pieces. They've done okay, but there's less people that can afford them. So for example, the 1822 Sovereign I just sold. You're going to have a lot of window shoppers. You're going to have a lot of people say, yeah, I really like it, but the reality is, and this is not a put down because some of these coins are incredibly expensive. The reality is most people can't afford them. So you've either got to trade them out, which goes back to the trust issue on peer-to-peer, and that can be very daunting for a lot of people. It's okay for me because people send me stock first. You know, I've built a reputation where people will do that. But as an individual, it's hard to get to that level where you trust someone, and most people wouldn't send it first. They like to do it simultaneously. I say to people, if you've got something super specialist and super rare or super high grade, put it in an auction. Just put it in an auction. You're going to get slapped for probably 10% fees, but you should have the right market to get the highest price possible. I'm not saying don't sell peer-to-peer. I just find that it's slower. It's harder to move, even for me. But I'm not renowned for numismatic pieces. I'm a semi-numismatic guy who kind of deals in bullion and brings the bullion up to semi-numismatic prices when I can. But numismatic can be a tough gig. I wouldn't put it on eBay. I find eBay, the higher up you go in eBay, from personal experience, it sucks. eBay doesn't look after its sellers. It really doesn't. I don't use eBay anymore. I just don't use it. There was an occasion I got done out of 2 sovereigns a few years ago. Didn't really go back, but I've had so many issues. I would take it to a specialist auction. Now, you could take it to a specialist coin dealer. Now, I'll give you an example, going back to the 1822 Sovereign I sold. And I have sold other numismatic pieces, but this is a pertinent example. I said to a dealer, this is not my area. Can you give me a rough estimation on where you think the value's at? And he said to me, it's a nice coin. It's a really nice coin. I think off the top of my head, I think he quoted me 1100 to 1200. It might have been 1000 to 100. It's between that bracket. And I said, okay. And then he said, I can buy this coin off you. And I think he quoted me 820. And I said, well, no, not really. I do this for a living. You know, I'm not going to trade it down for that price when you've just said it's worth that. You know, I don't mind someone coming in and say, I want to make £100 on it. Because the reality is, because he's a specialist, he will get it in and get it straight back out. I'm sorry. Why should you make that money when I can make that money? And it should be the same case for you as an individual. If you've got something that is really sought after, why take the haircut at the expense of someone who, in reality, you know, they're making more than they should on something they specialize in? I hope this has helped. I've been looking forward to making this video. I know selling like the back of my hand. I've done a lot of trades. I'm very, very experienced. You should always listen to, and I'm not downplaying other YouTube channels, but you should always listen to someone who has more experience in these areas than someone who doesn't. There are a lot of channels, or at least when I used to watch a lot of channels, you should buy this. And my first question is, give me a reason why I should buy it. You should buy silver. Why should I buy silver? Silver's going to go to this price. Okay. Will I be able to get that price if it does get to that price? How am I going to achieve that price? Is there a lot of work that goes into achieving that price? These are all questions you need to know, because you need to have a plan when you buy it on how you're going to sell it. That's the reality. silver could go to £50 an ounce. However, if it spikes and dealers have pretty shaken up, there's going to come a point where it drops. You need to know these things. I hope this video has helped. It's a bit longer than I planned. You know, I hope the knowledge is valuable to you. I do intend on putting up some a gold dealer gives advice videos. I've been thinking long and hard about what I want to do with my life, and I'm looking to do a PhD in about a year. So by the time I get there, I want to kind of give out all the information that I know on this channel, because I think it's worth people knowing. You know, I don't know if I'll carry on as a coin dealer, but I know that I'm closer to the end of my dealing days than I am to the beginning. So take care, guys. Bye.